WoW's big now, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah.
Apparently,
WoW's fairly chunky.
apparently super
like-
mega turbo big.
It's like 150 gig now. It's huge.
No. Well, this is fun. This is from the person who runs Warcraft logs. That means they see
The destroyer of all casual gameplay.
that is it from chief ruiner of video games.
Yeah.
Kira. Creator, enabler of toxicity in gaming via logs.
Even in Final Fantasy, because it's Warcraft logs and FF logs.
The person who single-handedly ruined Final Fantasy.
Single-handedly destroying all major MMOs at the same time. Can't believe there's no RuneScape logs.
That's it. Yeah, I am sure Kira aged Yoshi P another 500 years. But basically, from the Warcraft logs data, China's doing a lot of Ulduar. A lot of Ulduar.
A lot of Ulduar, yeah.
I think 11 million characters. Is there 12 million?
Yeah, 11 million
Okay,
characters
11.
with logs.
That's characters, not accounts, and that's not kills. That's characters.
That's characters with logs. That's not like 11 million like boss kills or whatever else. Like it's like, you know, you can cut the number down substantially. That is literally 11 million characters.
Yeah. So
Which,
if the average
in
person
Wrath-
has if the average person has got like three characters that are doing this raid, then a third of that number is basically the top end rating base. It just depends on like how many on average level 80 raiding Wrath of the Lich King characters do they have.
Considering the servers just went up a short while ago,
Yeah.
I can't imagine it really is like 3 characters. I imagine it's closer to like 2 on average, if not lower, honestly.
And the thing
But I
is,
don't want to say that definitively and turn around and be like, there's 8 million people playing in China, because I just don't know.
but remember, whenever we would hear about World of Warcraft numbers, say 12 million subscribers, that included China.
Yeah.
And I guess where it's also a bit interesting to me is the Chinese market getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's pretty fucking chunky, like.
It's like, yeah, China was a pretty big part of World of Warcraft back in 2008. But like, I suppose, what would you call it? The sort of middle class? I don't exactly...
I
don't know words,
right?
but you know the way it's like, as China's economy rapidly developed, the sort of the internal consumer market got like bigger and bigger and bigger. So are the WoW boomers also getting other people into the game? Is WoW getting some cut through in China for more reasons than just old players having nostalgia kick?
I think so.
Also remember the
don't
Warcraft
have-
movie was financially saved by China. So
yeah.
they came out to support that movie way more than America or Europe did.
They
And Europe came out way more than America did. I think it was like specific, like America is where the Warcraft movie like particularly bombed.
It's really funny because you think like World of Warcraft's an American game. You think that? And they're like, no, it's actually, there's like 50-year-old people in Sweden
Yeah.
carrying the game. Like.
I never thought I'd say it, but they're not patriotic enough over there.
They really aren't.
They
They should've-
abandoned their own video game.
That's because they saw the fantasy game and this doesn't look American enough. Where's the guns,
I see.
etc. I like the movie. I like the Warcraft movie, TBH. Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
all I'll
could have
say.
been a lot better than it was.
Yeah.
I wish that...
No, we just have jobs. Well, if your job doesn't let you see a movie, I think you have a problem. But yeah.
That reminds... Oh my God, there's this like really good joke where it's like it's obviously a shit post, but it's somebody
Really?
saying like, oh my God, these Indian software engineers are amazing. And it's like a screenshot of Slack that that it just says, my body exists to help the company find product market fit. I am yours, sir.
Healthy work-life balance.
So you guys need to work harder.
Yeah. Oh dear. Dear. Yes, I got distracted because I was trying to figure where the fuck I can see our our guild's item level across the raid.
Oh no.
I got really distracted looking at Warcraft log and how unusable this site is to a small brain like me. But yeah, I think that's it. Like,
Would that be your fantasy name?
what?
You know the way like an elf's name is always like a descriptor of what they do.
Oh right, yeah. My name would be Lagging Small Brain. Also, might just be my actual name. But yeah, I think this is a fun one because it does imply that World of Warcraft is literally bigger than it's ever been in all of history, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense because no one gives a shit about it culturally. But then you kind of go, well, the world has changed and we are really, really, really culturally diverse.
Everything's fragmented.
Yeah, fragmented. Yeah, that's maybe a better term. But like, you know, because there's just, you just look over and you're like, what do you mean? There's like 40,000 billion people giving Genshin Impact like a tenner every 5 seconds. I'd walk down the street, I don't see a single person who knows what Genshin Impact is. They're like, yeah, the world's very, very.
That doesn't
very
happen
big.
outside.
Yeah, it all happens.
There are so many cultural coom circles that just, you're not really aware of them. And that's the thing, like the gaming market, while growth has slowed now, in like absolute terms, it has grown like substantially. In the way that people of our age think like, oh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Remember when that's the thing that everybody talked about? That was the biggest thing in the industry, and like COD still is the biggest thing in the industry, but our definition of big back then is utterly eclipsed by what goes on now.
Yeah, we are.
That's like our perception of numbers and stuff is just really whack. And even thinking about like Valorant, I feel like Valorant is a great example of a game that is like entirely culturally disconnected from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Because it captured a younger audience that's just a totally different cohort to us. Mm-hmm. So there's something to be said about the internet being more
Still
isolated.
an e-dating platform. Just a very different one. It's a very, very, very different one. It's kind of weird. Like, it's kind of funny to see that, like, trying to compare things from the past with World of Warcraft 12 million subs. And that wasn't World of Warcraft 12 million subs. Like, that was at its kind of big peak, but that was at the end of Wrath of the Lich King. That was before the fall.
Before the fall, yep.
Everyone's like, okay, well, it was on the way up to that peak. It was actually at its cultural like peak, at its cultural zenith, and ever since then, it's kind of been like less and less people have cared about World of Warcraft, but it's just proportionate compared to everything else.
And funny enough, for the duration of that fall, they very much said, "Oh, these are mostly losses from the East." They said that during CADA. Yeah. They definitely said that during MOP. Not sure about what, but at least that's what they would say in their earnings calls.
Yeah.
God, I've been short calling this game for too long.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, really.
Oh no. I remember 2013 and 2010 earnings calls.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very normal. So shitload of people there, but there's more than just that. So soon we will be able to take a look at some lovely, tasty numbers from Warcraft logs, and we can compare the first week of this to the first week of the Vault of the Incarnates. Yeah. However, the preliminary data from WoW Progress, I think, of the number of guilds who have killed the first boss on heroic mode. That is 67%? 66%?
It was 64% at the time. That was like third day, 12 p.m. GMT. Netstalker actually posted an update in our Discord, so I will go and check that, see if I can find it. Discord will open because there's a whole load of like comparison graphs. I'll throw it into this if I can.
Cool. Yeah, point is way bigger. Now, we do actually think the Dragonflight did a degree of growth during its time. I don't know if it ever... I don't think Dragonflight got back, though, in terms of rating stats. It didn't get back to Vault because Vault was the expansion launch. So...
That's another part. Rating as a measure is statistically less relevant because there's more content in the game.
Delves and plus
you could do world content, which means it's like if we even comparing to Dragonflight, which had plenty of world content to do, it's still like a little bit off the mark as a comparative measure.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunate because it's the data that we have, and it's not amazing when the thing you've been using as a yardstick is kind of changing under your feet, but it's changing for a good reason. Yeah, rating like proportionately is just less important. And as I'm sure for many people, their Great Vault next reset will show, it's less important for gearing too.
Yeah, I mean, even like normal was a bit of a cakewalk, but as soon as we hit Silken Court and Anstrack, then we had to actually try and coordinate and organize things.
Wee bit, yeah.
So I'd say the prospect of Heroic being a little bit harder is like, well, if you had limited time and wanted gear, I wouldn't be going anywhere near Heroic raids.
No?
I would be doing my weeklies, getting my keys, and getting my, what do you call them? It's a bit different if you're organized raiding, right? Because you've got that time set aside to go do that. But if I were like, do I pug Heroic or do I do a delve? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, would you like ice cream or get shot in the foot? It's kind of like, that's the level of comparison we're talking here in terms of effort versus good. You're like, okay, yeah, obviously I'll take the easy one, thank you. I'll take the easy, pleasant experience rather than the hellscape nightmare. Thank you much. I'm slowly navigating Notion to get to this page so I can post it. Post this.
We're nearly there. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Of course, one thing about all the success in China, though, like that's great for Blizzard. They'll be happy about that. Gets their brand out, gets their games out, does get the money, but they don't get as much money as, of course, if it was in their own region and wasn't done through NetEase, who Bobby Kotick profoundly pissed off allegedly. Right, let's take a look at this then. So, Kargath.
Yeah, so this is...
That was a while ago.
As it says on the graph, it is first boss, first raid tier, number of first heroic kills on WoW progress. Lines?
So over. It's so over. We're pre-Kargath.
We are pre-Kargath.
Game's dead.
Which means we're kind of getting there, but we are better than Shadowlands.
Better than the Slans?
And Slans had a lot... Like, Slans was the best-selling PC game of all time for 3 days.
Famously.
Yeah. And it beat Shriekwing from there.
Beat Legion?
Beat Legion.
Oh, if only I could... Wait,
Legion.
Shriekwing's not Legion. That's
Shriekwing
flipping Castle Nasria.
Shadowlands, yes. That's what I was talking about.
I know, I'm very stupid.
Yeah, Aeronog was Dragonflight.
Yeah.
Shriekwing was...
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Aeronog.
Yeah. So Ulgrax is on his way up there to hitting up Talk. Now, these are like very, very, very apples to oranges numbers. Just because there's 1,000 different reasons why these may not be the same, including different raid timings and different everything.
Well, here's one big thing. Loads of people. I mean, compared to Kargath, especially, actually. So, whenever Kargath was the first thing you could kill in the heroic raid, Mythic Plus dungeons didn't exist. In fact, there really wasn't anything else to do in World of Warcraft. That is a big change. Whereas as soon as we're talking about Nithendra and Talok, well, Mythic Plus exists. Yep. Right? M Plus exists, so people can go and do that. You talk about now with, what's he called? Algrax. It'll take a while before I remember the boss names. Thinking about him, well, he's competing with Mythic Zeros, which is, in fairness, not massive. Delves. More world content, more stuff to do in general. Yeah.
Because I see, like, obviously, for some of us sweat lords, we're like, okay, well, right, we're sort of finished the story, finished all side quests, we're done with the expansion. Like, it was literally me thinking, like, a while ago, I'm like, I'm kind of done everything this expansion before the season starts, because I put a good, 60 hours in.
Yeah.
Like a lunatic. And even I'm sure that pales in comparison to what some people did, but, that was kind of a lot. And then the season starts, and I go and I get Zekvir out of the way. I'm like, okay, sweet. But more to the point, I think there's a lot of people that there's a lot of players who are taking their time and play a couple hours a week.
Yeah,
I think, and they've got more to do across the place as opposed to logging and going, what I do, I guess I raid. They log in and see quest markers all over their map and go to those instead. I think is probably an actual genuine thing that's going to change this.
I mean, comparing stuff with Renowns. Compare Renowns to doing your emissaries in Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Although I suppose in
Bang out
Legion,
4 world quests a day.
what you were really doing was getting 2 legendaries and then subsequently deleting your main.
No,
because that is how a tiny number of people, relatively speaking, decided to play the start of that expansion.
Yeah, no, you weren't. You were getting your best legendary from the Withered Training box and going, nice. That's what you were doing.
And no wonder you'd like Legion.
I was playing Prot Paladin. I was pulling entire zones. I was walking through M plus like an unkillable machine. I knew to have Shield of the Righteous up whenever a boss did anything. So I was kind of, good back then. And I got my ring really, really early. Fuck, I love the Wither training scenario. I like World of Warcraft's little weird shit more than I like any of its actual content.
Totally get that.
Midestar and Zekfir, actually two insane parts of my World of Warcraft career. Love it.
I'm looking forward to doing Zekfir, but proper and not busted.
Good luck.